next bare knuckle boxing champion after these two fighting whoever wins is BKFC needs a face.
Get right into it. Cody Vidal. Is that the Hulkamaniac?
Let me ask you a question, brother. What you gonna do when Knucklemania runs wild on you? What you gonna
I
do,
can't
brother?
wait for Knucklemania. Knucklemania 4, that's when you debuted, my brother.
That's right. The very first sanctioned California bare knuckle fighter in history to walk to the ring, to get in the ring, and to fight in the ring, and to knock someone down. Unfortunately, the fight was stopped due to a cut, even though I was winning the fight against my buddy Keith Richardson, who's actually messaging me right now. We're good friends. Love you, Keith. But with that said, he just said, laughing my ass off. You are a character. That is correct. Keith, I'm talking about you right now. I am on a podcast talking about you right
Let's
now.
go.
Keith is the toughest man in BKFC. He gets dropped and gets right back up and with a smile on his face. I love Keith. So, with that said, we got the Knuckle Maniac here, brother. What kind of questions do you have for me today?
It's the Knucklemaniac. Let's go. You know, on your debut fight, we seen you. They announced you as the Huntington Beach good guy, which
That was the
came and went pretty quick.
Yeah, you know what? You come up with some funny nicknames for yourself when you're on mushrooms, you know?
Okay. Did you get that third eye open?
Nah, I wasn't saying I was on mushrooms. I was just saying.
Anyway, so since then, you haven't they haven't really announced a nickname for you. Is that something that you've kind of done? Like, are you open to nicknames?
The Knuckle Maniac, brother.
Are you going with that? Is that the new Cody the Knuckle Maniac Vidal?
There's the Knuckle Maniac. In high school, my nickname was Psycho. You know, you could call me Cody Viral because sooner or later I will be viral. Let's wait for that one. You know, there's so many different nicknames you could have, but at the end of the day, when people know you by your last name and by your last name only, Vidal, Vital, whatever you want to say, that's when you know you're making an impact.
Oh, most definitely you are. I saw they just announced your fight. David Simpson coming up November 15th, Palm Desert.
That's right.
What do you think about David?
Do you not recognize the tune? The Simpsons.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't pick up. It doesn't pick up on these videos. I was doing a Simpsons tune. David Simpson's 5-3 BKFC veteran. And if you have over 5 fights, I call you a BKFC veteran. Best fight to me was a fight he lost. That was the fight against Mundell, the 175-pound champ, one of the pound for pound best in BKFC. Mundell and him had a good fight. The last two fights that Simpson had, he came out strong against guys that back up. I don't fucking back up. And one of them was a mutual opponent where David Simpson literally ground and pounded him and got a TKO. And if I knew that those rules were allowed, when I had him bent over like 8 times, I would have fucking ground and pounded him too. So David Simpson, let's get it on, brother. I'm excited to fight you. I'm excited to beat you. And I do want to say thank you very much for doing some justice, some karmic justice on Brandon Conley in that fight because Brandon bent over so many times in our fight, and I never wanted my fights to be personal. But when you're poking me in the eye on purpose because you don't want me to knock you out, when you're bending over and the referee's giving you all the time in the world, and then you get away with a draw, and then you turn down the fucking rematch, it's a little aggravating.
Yeah, you know what? He is a tough fight, and what do you think about that, Simpson? Like he put him in between the ropes, and then Conley kind of argued it, right? But the way he dropped and the way he kind of sat down, people usually don't do
Simpson
that.
has a good
Do you
right
think that
hook.
was a
Simpson has a
Do
good
you
right
think that was
hook.
a fair stoppage?
I don't think that was a fair stoppage, but because of Conley's actions, Conley was basically saying he didn't want to fight. So you either take a fucking knee, you go down, you take a knee, or you learn how to defend yourself. So yeah, I do think that David Simpson deserved a TKO. And then David
Okay.
Simpson's next fight, I don't think that was stopped early. Some people think that was stopped early, but when David hit him with that right hook, Smith was out for a couple seconds on his feet, and it wasn't going to get any prettier for him after that because David then came back with another shot, split his forehead open. And when you hit a guy in the forehead and his forehead opens up like that, typically you're a pretty good puncher. So props to David for those last 2 fights. And like I said, props to David for fighting Mundell.
Yeah, that fight That one you were talking about, that one wasn't the Hard Rock, right, against Smith?
That was the very last one. I'm not sure if it was Hard Rock.
I seen that one live, and yeah, I feel like David kind of gets overlooked. I mean, he's a big, strong, tough customer. I feel people kind of downplay his talents. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see it, brother. I'm gonna make the trip for this one, so I'll be live. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the Knuckle Maniac in person.
Well, I don't underestimate anyone. David's a nice, respectful, humble guy. I know he hits hard. I know he's coming for war. I know he's coming for victory. But I also know who I am. I also know what is already written in the book of life. And my last name means life. Vital means life of God. Vidal means life of God. And so what I say I do it before it's ever even been done. And so when I am the BKFC champion, report back to this video and give me kudos. Give me the respect I deserve.
Yes, before they announced the Hunt fight, they had the Mundell picture with the Dyer. There was rumor of that fight canceling. There was some rumor spreading. I actually was talking to Johnny Carbarino, who he thought might step into that. And yeah, he mentioned your name, and I was like, he's making some noise. And I also seen you had a little post on your Instagram story. You seen a fan. I don't know if you were in a 7-Eleven or something, but you were talking about fighting November 15th, and the cup said you manifested this.
Yep.
Do you recall that?
Yep. I didn't even know the cup said that till I looked down and said those exact words.
Looking at some of your posts and talking about using that part of the brain that isn't always working in hypnosis and just like a higher unconscious mind. That's something you practice regularly?
Yeah, consciously and unconsciously. I'm a very spiritual man. I wear this proudly. The only pride I have is in Christ Yeshua. Other than that, you know, my fighting abilities are God given, and it's for the purpose. It's for the purpose of winning and giving the glory to God. And no matter, you know, what character I play, no matter what mood I'm in, Christ is right there with me. I say his name Yeshua, and you can see it in the photos. I'm holding the Bible real high, and the world really does need a hero, and there isn't only one hero. And he came in the flesh. They killed him. He rose again 3 days later, and he never left us. He gave us the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh. That's how you say Holy Spirit in Aramaic. That's right. That's right. Except I don't do it like this. I do it like this because when you do it this way, it's like cutting the energy. I do it this way:
Show me again.
up, right, down, left. That's how I do it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
practice that. I got mass on Sunday.
I love I love God. I love Christ Yeshua. I love Yahweh. And Ruach HaKodesh. It's fighting's amazing because it's an ability that us men have. It's a power. It's a gift that we have. And if you're not using it for good, if you're not using it to set a good example, and you're not using it for truth, then you're just another villain. And the Hulkamaniac, the Knuckle Maniac, is not a villain, brother. He's a hero.
On your it says on your Instagram, it says Matthew Vidal. Does that have to do with Bible verses as well?
Matthew's my middle name. Matthew means gift of God. Matthew's also my favorite book in the Bible. And if you just pop it open right here, it'll say, aha, ask, seek, knock. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and that door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. Those who seek find. And to those who knock, the door will be open.
Powerful stuff. This Easter is when I first got confirmed into the Catholic Church. My wife got baptized. She's 40 years old. God is good. I wish I found it sooner. Powerful stuff. That's one of the things I respect about you. I see you with the Bible in the ring afterwards, even after your first fight. You tell all your opponents God is real, and I believe it, bro.
I
I
pray with
believe
all
it.
my opponents. I just chose not to pray with them beforehand because when I prayed with them beforehand, that's the one I lost to the cut. I'll pray with you after I beat you up. How about that? Hey, I noticed I'm older
So
than a lot of these fighters, which is pretty funny because I'm very childish. Like David Simpson, he's what, 35? Josh Dyer, 34. Then you got, ain't no champ, who's like, what? Is he 42, 43, 44?
who,
Lorenzo Hunt?
Lorenzo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 43.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Lorenzo and I are like the old men of the division.
You know what though? Like, come on, 40 is the new 20, especially in this bare knuckle thing. This is where that, old man strength comes into play. Like, look at Yoel, he's 48 years old. Like, you don't have to worry about going to the ground wrestling. You can get through those training camps. 2-minute rounds. Look how good shape the knuckle maniac's in, brother. There ain't no age ain't nothing but a number.
That's right, brother. That's right.
The longevity is definitely there. And you're clean shaven now too. The beard's gone, you know. You're looking pretty young, bro, if I might say.
Thank you. Thank you.
So why did you shave the beard? You go back and forth, you rotate?
I was with a woman who told me to grow my beard out because she liked it, and then after I had a beard, she was like, "Beards are men's makeup," and I was like, "What does that mean?" She's like, like men grow beards to look more attractive to hide their ugly features." I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking to? You ain't talking to me. You ain't talking to me, bitch." You know what I mean?
Bro, it takes more of an effort to shave it. I would say that's the makeup. I don't know. I rotate. I shave it. You know, you got to get the moisturizers in there. But yeah, my wife likes the beard, so it's kind of why
I
I'm
look
sporting
different
it.
every fight, don't I?
You do, bro. And like I noticed in your first fight too. Yeah, you know, you were nice and hairy too. No beard now. You're all cleaned up. Does that go hand in hand?
I just all war is based on deception. So, the fighters have a mental picture of who they're going to see when it's fight week, and I show up looking completely different. And like, I've literally had people be like, dude, I didn't even recognize it was you.
Yeah. You know
Shout
what?
out
I
to
actually
Kevin
find
Sims. Shout out to Kevin Sims. My first fight, I had a mustache and I had a parted hair, and I was clean shaven. My chest was clean shaven. Had parted hair and a mustache. And we're standing in line to go up to the weigh-ins, to weigh in on national TV. And he's half black. His like nickname on his Instagram is literally called halfway black. So he's half black, and he's just standing there. You can tell he's kind of nervous, and I'm standing there, and he goes, "Hey, man," and I turn to him, and and he's like, "Hey, man, I didn't recognize that was you." He's like, "I like this style a little bit more." I got a bald head and a beard. He goes, "I like this style a little bit more." I go, "Oh, yeah?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Last time you looked like Hitler." I was like, "Damn."
it's a versatility to change it up. I do the same thing. Sometimes I shave the beard, I let the hair grow long. Sometimes I shave it all off too. You know what I mean? I like to
Yeah.
have a couple different looks. Then you never know what you're gonna get. Eh? I feel like you're similar with that, Cody.
I feel like when people are too fucking serious about their appearance, or they're too serious about any other aspect and not serious enough about fighting, like, I no, that's improper to say. I'm serious about winning, and for me to win, I have fun. Like, I'm having fun. Like, no one's forcing me to fight other than the will inside of me to win, if that makes sense. So it's like I couldn't stop fighting. I couldn't stop winning if I tried. But no one outside of me is forcing me to fight. But the word fight means to struggle. I don't consider myself a fighter. I consider myself a winner. Do I go through struggles? Do I endure struggles? Of course. But the victory's already mine mentally. The victory's already mine spiritually. And I decide that beforehand, and I have fun during the process. People are like, they're so serious, and they got to realize like anger comes from fear, man. So it's like the more angry you show me you are, the more scared you are because you feel like there's a threat. And if you feel that there's a threat, you're only going to empower me with your anger, letting me know, hey, obviously you're worried. Obviously you're afraid. I'm not the most fucking sane person. People look at me and are like, is he acting? Is he serious? It's like, it's a little bit of a combination of both. You just don't know, right? You just don't know if I'm going to show up and I'm going to fucking feed you a fucking cannoli like Johnny Garb, or if I'm going to show up and I'm going to feed you a knuckle sandwich. But I'm gonna do both. Johnny Garb gives him the
So
cannoli before he beats him up. I'll beat them up and give him the cannoli after.
you know what? Those cannolis are probably world class, though. You know what I mean? They're probably
Fuck
the best
yeah.
cannolis you can get, man.
Dude, the second guy he slapped with a cannoli, I jumped off stage during my weigh-in, and I ate the cannoli before I got in the scale.
Okay, let's go. Only half, though, right? You know, you got to make sure you make that weight.
Nah, how it works is you weigh in the day before the televised weigh-ins,
Oh, okay,
and then
okay.
you can come in there being a fat ass if you want.
Well, okay. So cannolis up then.
Fuck yeah. Cannolis all the way.
You were the first fight ever in California history. They announced you from Huntington Beach. Your next fight's in LA, but then now you're starting to pop up on these Philly fight nights. Did you make the move? Are you living out in Philly now?
No, I live in California, and I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, multi-dimensional. I lived in Texas for 2 years too, so if we ever do a fight in Texas and they have me on the card, I can pull some fans there too.
Let's go. Are you
So,
selling? You sell?
I don't track them, but yeah, people show up for me for sure. And then for this fight coming up, it's an 11,000 person arena, and they gave me the green light yesterday to do the advertisement. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go downtown dressed up like this, and I'm gonna have a camera crew because as soon as somebody sees a camera aimed at you, it's like the same effect as a gun. If you aim a gun at somebody, they're like, "Oh shit!" You aim a camera at somebody, like, "Oh," except the gun incites fear and the camera incites curiosity. So, like, literally, I could just have some random stranger follow me around the camera and pretend like I'm someone special, and they'll treat me that way because that's how stupid human beings are. Tell a vision programming. Tell a vision. So if I tell people like, "Hey,
Are special. Let's go.
I'm
Don't
very
sell yourself
special. I'm on the
short.
spectrum."
Let's go, baby. I love those glasses too, by the way.
Yeah, I feel very feel. Love Ukraine, Ukrainian colors. Da da da. I love Usyk. Usyk's the best.
You honored the Hulkster after your win, right after his passing, RIP to the Hulkster. How long have you been a fan? Have you always been a wrestling fan of Hulk Hogan or the early stuff?
So yes, so pro wrestling. I don't care for pro wrestling. I haven't cared for pro wrestling since like middle school, like late middle school. But I grew up on the Hulkster. I grew up on the Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, and The Rock. And Stone Cold was my absolute favorite. But Hulk Hogan, he brought that like divine, good guy energy, heroic energy to professional wrestling. And, outside of Lorenzo Hunt, there hasn't really been a character in BKFC. There really hasn't been one that can actually fight really good and actually market himself well. And Lorenzo did a really good job of that. And Lorenzo is the one that attracted me to BKFC so heavily. His fighting style, the way he talks on the microphone, the way he presents himself, and he's actually a really good family man too, outside of the character he plays. And that's most important to me. With that said, you got to look at BKFC and like there's so much room for improvement on the marketing, and that's not me talking bad. That's like there's blood in the water. And I'm a shark. And, it's kind of interesting that the Knuckle Maniac was born in Philly at the ECW arena. Think about that. Because BKFC needs more homegrown fighters. Like, we cannot keep borrowing from the UFC and in the boxing world and whatnot and like, oh, yeah, and claim to be BKFC. No, BKFC needs to grow their own fighters. And, thank God I had like career ending injuries for mixed martial arts because like you said, man, wear and tear from wrestling and grappling is just horrible. Like I can go fight an MMA right now. And so what I was saying is that when Hulkamania came around, it brought all the attention to professional wrestling. Everyone could relate to the hero that was Hulk, right? Lorenzo's the juggernaut. He doesn't play the hero, he plays the villain, right?
That's right.
And so you know the Hulkamaniac, the Knuckle Maniac was born in the ECW arena, and like ECW and WCW used to combat with the WWF to WWE, and like they would pull their wrestlers from each other and have them go to their organization, and they'd make them, make a lot of money off of them. But for me, it's like I said, it's blood in the water. There's so much opportunity right now, and it's like, why not? I'm a character. I could do anything I want to do. Why not do it? And why not be the Knuckle Maniac and bring Knucklemania? I mean, they stole the name Knucklemania from WrestleMania, and WrestleMania had a Hulkamaniac. Why not have a Knucklemania?
You're making a lot of sense here, Cody. I think you do have that star capability. You got a little bit, you got that personality, you're eccentric, you're getting the wins, and you're right. BKFC needs a knuckle maniac, brother.
And I'm pretty too.
Let's go. Once I found out wrestling was fake, I felt like I'd been lied to a little bit, but I did love Hulk Hogan,
I'm here.
Ultimate Warrior. Stone Cold was my favorite as well. I used
What?
to like I used to like the Hitman Hart too.
Best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
That's the one, bro.
Man, that guy
Shawn
whines a
Michaels
lot
too.
though.
I was young. It's funny because now BKFC, it's kind of like has that wrestling aspect. It could anyway, where people are talking back and forth, except now you're actually settling in a real fight. The little kid in me, this is what I've been waiting for. I can't wait to see you walk down that aisle. You got any teasers for me? Is it gonna be the Hulkamaniac in full effect? Okay. I might
There's your
have to
teaser,
edit that out.
brother. What? It's my pec in my 30-inch pythons, brother. Just kidding. Any teasers for you about what?
The walkout song, is it gonna be Real American again? Are we sticking with
I
who
don't know.
knows? Tune in
I don't
November
know.
5th.
Ask me some more questions, brother. I'm full of answers.
I seen your boy hitting those hands. He's looking like he's pretty polished too. Do you have just the one son?
Yeah, he's way better than that. I haven't done like any hands with him for a while, but he's like way better than that. In that video, he was his skills were not very skillful, and that he's fast and he hits hard. Like I've never even been wobbled in a BKFC fight. But that kid hit me in the ribs like a couple weeks ago. Like he's my son's half Russian. His mom's from Russia, and he calls it the Russian overhand. So you whip your shoulder like that, and make it long and snap it on impact. And he hit me right on the. He hit me. I'm not gonna say where he hit me, but fucking, I was like, so yeah,
So is
he
he
hits
your
hard.
only child?
He's my only child, yes sir. Yep.
So what does he think about you fighting?
He loves it. He was at the first BKFC fight, and I came out all stitched up, and he's like, "Daddy, I want to do this." I was like,
Haha.
"That's my kid, man." Hey,
Like
Russians are
I
psychotic.
yeah, you're kind of downplaying the skills because of his advancement, but for someone like me to see a young child hitting those 1-2s and throwing the slips, it was pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie for an 8-year-old.
Well, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to your skills, and he's way better than that. Like, he has way tighter hands, way tighter elbows, way more linear straights, way more circumferent hooks and uppercuts. And he's so quick. And we were granted in between a table and a wall. There wasn't much space there for the filming of that. But if we're open space and I'm standing and moving around, he's a lot more mobile.
MMA career. I see you had pictures with Rampage. Did you train with Rampage or American Top Team or anything like that?
I used to train with American Top Team in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I lived with Johnny Hendricks, striking coach, when I lived in Texas. Right when he was in his prime. So I was sparring with Johnny. I was sparring with Kamaru Usman, the Rochalt brothers, who were NCAA champs. And then I was at Dan Henderson's gym for 5 years. So I sparred with Dan Henderson frequently, Sean Strickland frequently, Sam Alvey, who is now the combat karate champion of the world at the heavyweight division, just knocked out Tyrone Spong. I'm sparred with him very frequently. Shout out to my boy Keith Barry. He just called me today. Keith's the KO kid. He's also the NFT kid. He wants to sponsor me with one of his Keith Barry does he does crypto boxing right now. So he's knocking out a bunch of crypto influencers, cryptocurrency influencers. But you're asking the question, like, did I ever train with Rampage? I used to train with Emmanuel Newton as well. Emmanuel Newton and Antonio McKee, AJ McKee. Emmanuel Newton was the light heavyweight champion of Bellator at 205. Yeah, Anthony McKee's a really good wrestler, ex UFC fighter, and AJ McKee was the Bellator champion as well. So I lived with those guys and trained with them, and they're really good friends with Rampage. And so, like, when Rampage created a family gym, I helped build the gym. This was many years ago, and like I just was at the weight room with Rampage the other day. But no, I had more mat time with guys like Dan Henderson, Sean Strickland, Sam Alvey, Johnny Hendricks, Kamaru Usman. So when people are in BKFC and they're a big name, to me, it's like I was at King's MMA for 5 years too. You know, my trainer was the same trainer as Mike Tyson's. My trainer was the same trainer as Wanderlei Silva, Anderson Silva, Shogun Hua, Fabricio Verdum, the heavyweight champion who beat my favorite Fedor Emelianenko and Cain Velasquez, Marvin Vittori, Kelvin Gastelum. So it's not that I'm not afraid of any man, because anybody can say that. It's that I'm ready for any man.
That's elite company right there. You have a really strong mind talking about the unconscious mind and everything. How you feel when you're making that walkout? Are you feeling nervous or are you just feeling prepared? I know you say you're having fun with this. Are you excited? What's the feel?
It's like I just woke up from bed, because I quite literally did. I listen to my own hypnosis tracks in the locker room. I don't warm up. Like I'll literally listen to my own hypnosis track. It's me talking to myself, and I go out there and I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm in control, and that makes me certain of victory. You can see that type of behavior. You can see that type of behavior in my opponent David Simpson, but I'm not going to give away all my strategy and give away all my knowledge. But I do know where there are weaknesses, and there's plenty of them.
I'm excited for this fight. This Hunt fight they announced it, there wasn't a lot of notice. And Hunt's a massive, massive man. Does he make 185? You know what I mean? It's a short amount of time before the announcement of David Simpson. I was thinking maybe you knew that you were the step in fight or the fill in, so to speak. Now I see the David Simpson fight. Say you get the win on this fight, which I'm pretty confident you think you're going to get that win. Is it title? You think you're going for the title next?
Is the sun going to come up tomorrow?
Hope so, God willing.
Well, if the sun comes up tomorrow, the answer is yes.
I've heard it on the Bare Knuckle Show. People are talking about you. They're going to remember the character. This card is shaping out to be a real big one. End of the year, Dyer Hunt. Like, it's another big card. It's made for Cody Vidal.
That's right. That's fucking right. So, with all that said, man, thank you for having me here. Thank you to David Simpson, my opponent. Thank you to BKFC. Thank you to David Feldman, Nate Shook. Thank you to my manager, Gabriel Rapisarda. Thank you to my trainer, Moy Tyler Smith. Thank you to my family, my son, my lady, her daughter, my extended family, all my in-laws of the old, all my family back home in Pennsylvania. I just want to thank everybody in general. So if you've had an impact in my life, thank you very much. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm not just doing this for God. I'm doing this for everybody that maybe they didn't quit on their dreams. Maybe they took a side path, a side mission. But if you feel like you had to quit on your dreams or you feel like your dreams died, that's a lie. It's an absolute lie. I've been through so many injuries, reconstruction of my ACL. I have a dead person's ligament in my knee. I had surgery on my hand, which prevented me from being a boxer. I always wanted to box growing up, but I couldn't because I had one arm. So I fought MMA with one arm, one leg. That's quite literal. I was an amateur MMA champion at 185, or 170 and 185. Controversy. But when the 185-pound champion who's undefeated is tapping your ass as you're giving him a guillotine, you're supposed to hold on till the referee pulls you off. I didn't do that. That was my fault. So, yeah, in all reality, I won a 170, 185-pound championship as an amateur MMA, turned pro, had all these kind of fucking injuries. My knee just kept tearing. Like, it just kept tearing because I didn't have an ACL. The MMA career, the UFC championship that I wanted to win, that never happened. But I was always a pure fighter. I was always a fighter who liked a free fight. That means no rules, and I've always won in those situations, and bare knuckle is proving that because, like I said, I've not even been wobbled. I do enjoy being punched because when you punch me, my demon comes out, and so far that motherfucker has it. That fucking spirit is undefeated. And so, with all that said, all glory be to God. Stop saying the word demon. Stop cursing. All glory be to God, Christ Yeshua. And I'll take my sunglasses off when I'm talking about this. Take off the hat too. But you're next, the bare knuckle boxing champion. You're looking at him, and it's not just the next bare knuckle boxing champion after these two fighting whoever wins. Is BKFC needs a face, not just Mike Perry, not just Lorenzo Hunt. Okay, BKFC needs someone to carry the torch. And brother, just like Hulk Hogan used to carry that American flag out to the ring, I'll gladly carry that torch every single time.
Let's go. Vidal's got the vision, baby. I feel like you already know, and we're just waiting to see it.
That's right. That's the beauty of tomorrow. We don't know what's there, but some of us do. Some of us know exactly what's there tomorrow. So tune in November 15th, BKFC live from Palm Desert, California. I almost said Palm Springs. Palm Desert, California. There's going to be 11,000 people at this fight. Tickets are $42, as low as $42. There's PayPal, pay in 4. You could literally pay for your tickets in 4 different payments. So there's no reason not to come out. So,
What did you say vital means again?
Vida is life and El is God. El Shaddai, Elohim. So Vida El is vital. That's life of God.
Life of God. Praise Jesus, baby.
Praise Yeshua.
All right, Cody.
HaMashiach.
I can't thank you enough for joining me, my man. I'm excited to see you November 15th. I want to see what's next for the Hulkamaniac. And
Knuckle
yeah,
Maniac.
Knuckle Maniac. I'm sorry, brother. Knuckle Maniac, the first one. All right, you're going to be the face of the BKFC.
That's right, brother. That's right. So if anybody out there wants to follow me, go on Instagram, vital.visions, VIDAL.visions. Okay, I don't know if this thing is even on right. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
We got to leave with the battle cry, brother.
You got to get some merch going, brother. Some Hulkamaniac / Cody Vidal. The shirt rip. Boom.
What you gonna do, brother? When the knuckle maniac runs wild on you.
That's right. You better tune in. Get that pay-per-view.